Greetings everyone, welcome aboard. My name is Joseph James, our live trade room, schooltrade.com. Today is July 19th, 2010, a Monday morning. Welcome to your live trade room recap. Boy, we had a very educational day today in the live trade room. I want to remind you guys, before we talk about the trades we took today in a live trade room, if you're watching the video on the blog right now, you want to make sure of these four important components. Now, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a search box. Use that search box to search for all kinds of different topics. Trend lines, double tops and double bottoms. How about the auto levels indicator? Want to know more about that? Use that search box there. All right, guys, our live support button. There's always somebody here 24/7 standing by on our live support. If you need any help, right, click on live support. Right below that, you'll see our YouTube page. Right, you can follow us on Facebook. Get our Twitter updates, guys. All of our social media is there as well. And then right below there, in the bottom right-hand corner of the blog, you'll see the box where you're going to follow us. Very important, guys, you follow this blog. By following the blog, you're going to get an email from us or a notification from us every time we post something new. Now, we posted 2 big winning trades on the blog this morning during our live trade room. Now, if you were in the live trade room, or maybe you're not a guest yet, maybe you're not a member, you can still follow those trades live in real time on our blog. So follow the blog. All right, guys, make sure you guys follow the blog. Let's see here, 2, 4, 5 total trades. We took 1 loss in there, but that 1 loss cost us some pretty good cash. We'll grab a look at that in a second here, guys. 41 ticks, though. We gave almost all of it back, and then we made a good third of it right back in our pocket. So kind of a roller coaster ride of a day today. We went up by $1,000, then we gave about 85 of those 100 ticks back, and then we made 30 ticks right back. So a little bit of a seesaw day. We'll talk about that in a second. But as you can see, 41 ticks. That brings our monthly total, guys, 14,000 for the month now. What a great month of July. We did 7,400 in the first week, 6,200 the second week, and now here we are, guys, $410 here so far in the third week of the month of July. It's heating up out there. It's also pretty red hot here in the live trade room. Make sure you guys come out and join us either as an advanced member, right, or as a trial guest. We'll give you guys a free 3-week trial. Come out and join us. Now, what's the most important thing that happened today? Well, we always know, guys, Mondays are always going to be slow. But then you throw in the fact that it's a summer Monday, right, which means people are going to be a little bit hesitant getting back to their work computer this morning, right? The same reason why you and I want to hit that snooze button a couple more times is the same reason why other traders are getting in late to the market as well. Now, we had a pretty good set of movement. We actually had a bunch of movement here in the first 2 hours, but then it went all of a sudden real quiet. So we had a lot of movement, guys, from about 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock, and then all of a sudden things just kind of went sideways and fell asleep. Now, what looks like is happening right now is we're really, of course, we're right in the dead heat of the summertime months right now. So the next, 2 weeks of July and then the final month of August, those are our summertime months. The dead zone tends to show up a little bit, right, a little more confidently, I should say, a little more consistently now in the summertime. And it looks like what's happening here is we're getting the dead zone coming in after the morning news, so about 10 o'clock, 10:30, and then that's lasting all the way through to 11:30. Right, like clockwork. So check your charts, check your time. The last news event, once we see that last news event of the day, that's when we're going to start seeing that dead zone step in. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, though, in the live trade room. So beware. We've had this roller coaster, right? Volume increasing, decreasing, increasing, decreasing. This is summertime trading at its best. There'll be times like this morning at 8 o'clock we see lots of volume. Then there are times like 10:30 where we see no volume at all. What we have to do is we need to really focus on when's the volume there? When is the speed moving quickly? When is the market in the best position for us to be trading, and wait for that to happen, and that's exactly what we did today. Now, let's start first with the gold. Now, the gold really gave us a real strong heads up as far as what to expect is going to be happening here this morning on gold. And this is what it looked like when we opened up our chart this morning. Now, notice here, guys, I've got the trading range from earlier this morning on the left and the trading range from later this morning on the right. All right, now here is about 9:30 right here. Okay, so there's 9:30. Okay, so this, of course, is going to come in now. Hold on one second, guys. This will come in now, of course, after 9:30. You can see we went from this wide sideways range right now down into this much narrower sideways range. All right, so as you can see here, very different. Right now we're dealing with a much narrower trading range, and this is something we saw right away, and that really kind of told us, right, be careful out there. This is very similar to one of those wedge patterns we talk about. right, where the price gets narrower, right, and more consolidated as we keep getting closer and closer to that little wedge, and then all of a sudden it'll break out, right, or break to the downside. Okay, so that's kind of similar to what we're seeing on gold. Now, as you can see though, right, tightening trading ranges on gold. It got more narrow as the day went on. Okay, another thing you want to look at here, down bottom. If you look at down bottom here, we had one of our members this morning ask me, right, how do we know when the market is too slow to be trading? Now, this, of course, of the Russell. This is a snapshot of the Russell, but I wanted to show you guys an example here. Now, notice I've taken my pace of tape indicator, and I've taken from 12 o'clock out to 12:30. Okay, so this is about 30 minutes of price action. Now, what you guys remember is the pace of tape indicator, I can let this run all day long. So I could get 30 hours of speed if I wanted to. This is just a 30-minute snapshot. And you'll notice we've got the high up here, and I'm going to draw a trend line to connect these highs. And again, the question was, right, how do I know when it's too slow to be trading? Well, this would be a great example of using the trend line here, my pace of tape indicator. I know it's going to be too slow to be trading if I'm inside of or below, right, the trend line here. And then I know it's going to be okay to be trading if I break above that trend line. Okay, so whether or not you're trying to decide, should I trade the afternoon session, right, or should I wait until 9:30 to trade? Should I trade before the U.S. market open, right? So that's a great question. How do I know when it's too slow to be trading? Decreasing red pace of tape. So the first one is if it's decreasing. The second thing is if it's red. So decreasing red pace of tape, that means there are fewer people entering the market. It's already slow, so it's colored red. So decreasing red pace of tape means a very slow market that's only getting slower. But again, what I want to show you guys here is look for that break of the trend line, right? Look for when we break that downward trend line, because that will usually be that spark, right, to get that market moving again. Now, if you see that break just before your potential entry, that's going to be a fantastic heads up of a great entry trigger. All right, guys, use that pace of tape indicator when trying to identify, right, how slow is the market this morning, or is this market too slow to be trading? Now, guys, here on Crude, I wanted to really quick go over Crude real quick because this is what really kind of set the first three trades of the day in motion. Now, on the left side here, you're going to see on Crude, we have your slower time frame. Okay, so here's my slow chart, and on my slow chart, I'm marking up my trend lines. There's my trend line 1. Right, there's my trend line 2. So what do we see here right now? I see a wedge pattern, right? So we got a wedge pattern here on Crude. That's a sideways wedge pattern here on Crude. So right off the bat, right, we know we've got a wedge pattern here on Crude, and these wedge patterns, they always tell us what? They tell us as of right now, we shouldn't be trading on Crude. But they tell us once we break either out to the upside or to the downside here, okay, either we break above 76.44 or below 76 even, and then we're looking for a nice potential entry here. Okay, now on the fast chart, what do we see? We saw, right, the highs and the lows, and so here we are, right? Double bottoms down top, down bottom, double tops up top, and here we are right in the open. So at the open, what do we know? Right, in the beginning of the morning, you guys, what do we know? We knew we had a sideways market on Crude. We knew we had a wedge pattern. And we knew, right, we had to get right above that wedge pattern to get that trade taken. All right, guys, so wait for that price to break out above that wedge pattern. Remember that number here, guys, 76.44. Right? Remember that number, 76.44, because that's going to be my next potential level here as we work our way through. So we're going to break out of the sideways range on the Crude. We're going to break above 44, and then here's our first potential trade pattern as it sets up. So you can see here, guys, here's my, right, this trend line, that's the top of my wedge. Okay, so that trend line right there, that's the top of that wedge pattern. I'm going to break above that trend line, short-term trend up, mark up my swing high, we break above that swing high, right, and there's your breaker pattern long. 53 was the fill on this. We took our first target at +4, 2 off at 4, 1 off at 9, 1 off at 8, 25 ticks or 250 USD. All right, guys, nice big winner here right off the bat. Good speed. Momentum was curled up from the bottom. Right, lots of big buyers. Picture perfect entry.